Man United won, Burnley 0. Listen, Marcel, talk to me, man. We were so sad. Bayern, there's been games after game. We've been here. But I know the opposition, but just talk to me about this game. How did you find it?
1-0 in a game that we had to win. You know, it was a must-win game for us, and so much was put into it. I feel like, though, it's weirdly enough, all the other games, there's like spells, 20-minute, 30-minute spells, half an hour spells where we played good football. In this game, there was no particular point where there was good football being played. It was very fragmented, and we had to rely on good defending to then just give us a platform to again take a couple of counter-attacking opportunities or moments. And it's funny, all the good football or all the best moments or the brilliant moments of class came from Evans, our centre-back, a throwback kind of player that takes the counter-attacking and the direct football, you know, understands that, good clip, high-quality pass over the top. And I think he should have got 2 goals, if I'm honest with you, man. You know, that corner as well, it didn't seem like something that you could really take away or discredit him for. I mean, the goalkeeper was being impeded a little bit, but the head goes directly straight into the net. So for me, I don't know why he gets that taken away from him, unfortunately. But, you know, Bruno does the right thing, gives him man of the match.
You know what? And like Man United have fought today, and he saw some players that really. You said Johnny Evans was one that stood out for you. Was there any other players that was like had a good game, even though as bad as we played?
Oh, bro, look. So it's hard to give like just the positives. I'll go with some of the positives. Hannibal, you know, a positive performance from him. Really busy, and you know, when you take Bruno out of the 10, that's the one thing that you lose. That industry, that energy, running around. The quality of pass was kind of off like Bruno as well, but there's times where, you know, Hannibal in the second half gives a good outside of the foot pass into Rashi, and Rashi goes off on his counter charge, and I think the shot gets blocked in the end. But it's positive things where Hannibal's setting players free. In the first half, you know, decision making I think could have got Højlund in a couple of times, and just the quality of the pass, he underhits a bit of the passes. But those are technical things. We've seen him score long range goals this season, and we've seen Hannibal in general have good performances. So massive positive from him. Can he come in again and deliver that kind of performance again if Bruno has to go out wide? Højlund was okay. He was okay. He wasn't terrible. The hold-up play can be a lot better from him, if I'm honest. But that's really it, if I'm honest. I'm trying to think, you know, Region was kind of a bit quiet today and comes off injured, which is massively unfortunate for us. Yeah. Bruno was quiet, but done the Bruno thing that we all know for him to do, which is contribute, even though it's a poor performance. Fantastic technical goal from him. I mean, it reminded me of the Cristiano Ronaldo goal against Spurs, where Bruno actually clips it over to Ronaldo and he smashes it in the corner, or a Van Persie goal. Man United have scored plenty of top quality goals, so, but I don't know. We don't have that many positives in overall or like stand-up performances, but there was a few good moments from a few players.
Can Man United build on this though? You know, we're talking about we're mudded basically as a team at the moment, and just with all the noise and stuff, Man United severely mudded. Can we build on this though and really turn the corner? You know, you're talking about a team that's struggled. Is this the moment where we can say, all right, we can build on this and go on like a 5-8 game run?
Yeah. So you mentioned, you know, that the players that he trusts, and you mentioned it, KG, in terms of, you know, he set it. It feels a little bit like he set out the players that he trusts, and this squad here was players that I think understood the 4-2-3-1 shape. I think he reverted a little bit to what he had seen last season. You know, just a solid 2 CDMs there in Scott and Casemiro. And even though I think Casemiro played poor in the first half and really got better in the second half, and Scott was poor throughout, those two are the types of players that you're looking to have in this type of game. You know, Scott's been utilised by Ten Hag last season in this kind of fixture, and by Ole and all kinds of players in this kind of, you know, Burnley are not the same kind of aggressive, physical based side, but just that kind of game. This is a good competition for Scott to come into, these kind of games, Leeds. So I think he helped solidify it a little bit. He was a bit of a ghost, but it means that, like you had mentioned as well, Casemiro doesn't have to do lots of major dynamic running around because Scott's in there to just be there. So it was okay from them too. We can build on this though. You know, that 4-2-3-1 shape, we understand it, and that's where Ten Hag got a lot of good results. The next 4 or 5 games, if you're including Champions League and Cup competitions, are all at home. So definitely we can build on this.
But my biggest issue right now is we have another injury. A left back down. I don't know how we fixed that. I don't know who he put there now.
Bro, Amrabat was there.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That was, even at the end of the game, he got tested, and that guy, he spun him, he beat him, and then, you know what, we can't play Amrabat as a left back for Man United.
Yeah, it's a massive issue, and this is the kind of situations that Ten Hag has had to deal with throughout the whole of the season so far. It's only been 6 games plus a couple cup games or whatever. he's had so many injuries, and that's why we need to give him time. Let him get settled. Let him have his starting 11 playing 5 and 6 league games in a row. Let's complete 10 football matches, Premier League football matches, and see where we're at. But, I'm surprised it wasn't the 4-1-2-1-2 I thought was going to be that today. It wasn't that. He went to something that was more, familiar to these players, and they've been able to deliver performance. Us building on it comes from, Rashford performing a lot better than what he has, man. The chances...
Talk to me about Rashford.
Bro, the chances that Burnley get today, is a lot of the time the fullback running off of Rashford and him not following it, or he's always trying to give the responsibility onto his fullback when they do a switch, when they do like an underlap or overlap. And in that transition there, we lose it. And when you're trying to be the best transition team in the world, every player has to be switched on in terms of when a player switches over, when opposition players, when the runner's gone to an overload situation, or you need to be switched on because you're transitioning from offensive work to defensive work. And Rashford's not really, doing his fair share of it. Again, we conceded a goal where Sane had run off him again in the Champions League just this week. It's been so many times this season where he's letting us down in that phase of play.
So now, you know what, going forward, we talk about these players. Can they get better? Can they find their form? Is it a matter of just not playing with each other enough?
Yeah, you can. Perfect example, Højlund and Rashi. They're looking for each other, and they can get better and they can score more goals, but it's almost like they were overplaying each other today. A lot of under-hit passes, a lot of times where you maybe should shoot Rashi, but you've decided to pass it into Højlund, and then you've sent him out into the wide areas or into the half spaces when you could have played a pass, more onto goal where he gets a shooting opportunity. Then you're running into the box and Højlund's kind of under-hitting the pass to you. They were working with each other, but just the quality of the final pass wasn't there.
I want to quickly ask you about Delo. A lot's been made about him going forward and what he brings to the team. Wambasaka's out of the team. Is Delo staked his claim? Has he made himself the number one right back at this moment, or do you think there's still more to go?
I mean, so you pointed out as well today, he made a really good cross for Højlund in that half space between the goalie and the last centre-back, just into that channel. Strikers love that, the little tap-ins that you get from that. He has that technical level, but Wambasaka has the better cutbacks at times, but Wamby's now just learning to get to the byline more, whereas Delo's always been able to get to the byline and make okay crosses of himself. So I think the jury's still up between the two, and that's a good dynamic. That's a good dynamic, for certain games we're going to need solidity, against the cities and stuff, and then other teams we're going to need fullbacks to come in there into the half spaces and break down banks of four. So
we got two games about Crystal Palace coming up.
Yeah.
Can we win both of those?
So Crystal Palace last season, I was with Flex in their ground, and they were difficult. We were playing the 4-2-3-1, and they have fantastic players in their team. But at home, it's a fortress. And I can't say that anymore because we lost. But I would like to think that we sweep.
All right. So thanks a lot, bro. See you soon, fam. Big up.